Hey, this is James. Again, I was tagged by Really Big Monkey 1 on what my S.H.T.F skill is. I'd say my when the stuff hits the fan skill would have to be eating, getting food, securing food, whether that be trapping or fishing or hunting or gathering or whatever. There's a lot of people out there way better at it than I am, and that's just another part of that skill, is me personally staying teachable, so I can keep learning, and I watch those guys that are better at this than I am. There's a lot of them, and I just keep trying to learn all I can from you guys and from any resource I can get. Today what I have for you is a couple of traps that I made that I'm going to show to you guys. This first one is a modified horseshoe trap, and what it is basically, I used some orange string today, so maybe you guys could see this. I'm tied up to this real springy sapling up here and come down, and then this is my horseshoe. This is just basically a wide branch that I have drove into the ground. And then on see if I can get a look at this for you, I have a trigger stick right here, and it's propped up against my bait stick right here. And then I just have this other stick drove into the ground as something to wedge up against and hold that trigger. And I forgot Pete today. I meant to put Pete through some stuff today, but I absolutely forgot him. But anyway, you would bait this stick here, and the animal would come through like this and putting pressure on that bait stick would get caught. And I'll do that again for you guys. You see my trigger stick right there. I'll see if I can set the camera down and set this back up again and kind of show you how that works. Got my horseshoe right here. I just wedge my trigger stick underneath my horseshoe. Move my snare out of the way. Take my bait stick here, prop it up against the end of my trigger stick, and wedge it in there. It's real touchy, so it's kind of difficult to get in there sometimes, so it'll stay and not come back and whack me in the face. Oh. Let me try that again. Wedge my trigger stick under my horseshoe. Prop my bait stick up against here. There we go. Fix my snare again. Stretch it out over the top of my bait stick. And bait this up with something. Animal comes through here, touches the bait stick, and he's stuck. That's the modified horseshoe. Another one that I have for you today that's really easy is called a Simplified rolling pin, Deadfall. And that's this over here. And I don't want to step on any toes. You know, I know people love figure fours, but if I'm going to be setting deadfalls or any kind of traps, I'm going to be setting a bunch of them. And I don't like to spend a lot of time making notches and stuff like that. And this is really simple. I just have this one stick propped up against the bait stick, and I got it sharpened a little bit down there at the bottom, and that is it. You know, I can make a bunch of these in no time. And you know, this isn't probably the best rock to use, but it's what I could find. And it's pretty simple, you know. Animal comes through here and touches your bait stick and gets crushed. I looked around for a pretty long time to see if I could find, you know, a bigger, flatter rock. I just couldn't, so that was what I used. And something else I'd like to show you is this little kit right here. You know, I got a Altoids tin. You guys are probably sick of seeing these things. And a Sucret's tin. In this Altoids tin, what I have is some individual packets of peanut butter. You know, I think they were like 60 cents or something like that. Real cheap, you know. And for squirrel snares and stuff like that, you know, I've had success without using any kind of bait at all. But in this thing, I have I don't know, probably 16 or 18 different just wire snares. And you know, these come in handy. You can put a whole bunch of these up in a really short amount of time. And sometimes I use the peanut butter, sometimes I don't. And you know, this wire is really good. And all it is, basically, I brought this to show you too. You can get this at Lowe's. And the package itself is actually a wire dispenser. And it's green enameled floral wire. And then down here at the bottom, I don't know if you can see that or not, it says 24 gauge by 100 feet. And I think this was like $3 or something like that, if I remember right. But it's real cheap stuff. It works really good. You can make a whole bunch of those. I make them about 2 foot long, and you know, then I'll take one of these apart and show you. But they're super simple. You know, all it is I put a loop in one end, and that's it. If you can see here, I'll twist the little loop, run the other end of it through that loop, and then I know this is green and probably invisible on the camera, but then it just tightens up on itself. It works really good. And I also wanted to show you guys a new knife that I got. I'm not a real big product review guy, but this is my Mora High Q Robust. It's got a little bit thicker blade and a real grippy handle, and I used it today, just kind of sharpening some of these sticks up, and I'm in love. I really like this thing. For bushcrafting type stuff, you know, that Scandi grind, it's hard to beat. But that's about it, guys. Couple of traps. I'll make some more trap videos. I'll show you guys a bunch of traps, but you know, like I said, learn 2 or 3 really simple ones, because if you're going to depend on them, you're going to need to make a lot of them, and you'll want to make as many as you can, as easily as you can, and you know, just to increase your chances. And you know, if this ground wasn't so hard, I wouldn't need any tools at all to make that modified horseshoe trap. You know, I've just been breaking sticks and tying line, and that's it. Some of them get real complicated. I stay away from those. I just go with fast and easy. Maybe I'm just lazy, but it works for me. I hope I didn't step on anybody's toes about the horseshoes, or the figure 4s, I'm sorry. But I just, I like to save on my knife blade. I like to save time, and I don't want to spend a bunch of time notching and stuff like that. I guess I'm supposed to pass along this tag. I got a list here somewhere, hold on. I found it. This is, you know, you really don't even have to do anything in this video. You know, you can just sit down and talk about what you feel your stuff hits the fan skill is. But anyway, here's who I picked. I want to tag Operation DITW. I also want to tag Spirit of Wild Wings. I want to tag the Wilderness 333. And last but not least is my metalhead buddy El Tenda at the Illinois 111% channel. You know, just make a video, let us all know what your stuff hits the fan skill is, and we'll be watching out. Thanks.